Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, back with some more camp locations for you, and this week it's all in the Ash Heap. Now fair warning, I am a little bit under the weather right now, but I'm going to try to plow through this, and hopefully by next week I'll be feeling a lot better. But as for this week, we're starting off with an insanely popular spot for the Ash Heap, which ironically it doesn't look like it's part of the Ash Heap, but technically it is. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this spot thanks to the rad roach that will spawn wedding rings. Pretty cool. Overall, the house does have quite a bit going for it. Plenty of junk. Of course, you had the med container right there. Free drugs are always awesome, right? Now, it does kind of bum me out that that robot is always dead. I had one person tell me that, well, I showed up there one time and he was alive. And I don't believe it, because I've been here plenty of times and that guy has never been alive for me. He's always just taking it easy, sleeping. Now you do get a decent amount of space to play around with on the porch, and you do have access to water at the river nearby. Now, as for its location, I guess it's good for Ash Heap because it's not really too much like the Ash Heap. But it does keep you far over on the edge of the map, which I'm not a huge fan of. But at least you're close to Camden Park, right? You can go get some Mr. Fuzzy tokens. Moving on over to a location where I think I've only seen someone camp here one time. And I have high hopes that the whole reason they camped there was because of one of my videos. Now, this location does have the downside of having enemies spawn here. But, you can probably deal with it. Because you do get this cool little medical trailer. So if you're someone that's wanting to get that into your build somehow, this spot's awesome. You have a little medical area in your camp. On top of that, you've got this building over here, locked door, and a terminal that you can use to unlock the door. I find myself coming back here fairly often when we have the dailies that require me to hack a terminal, because no one ever comes here to hack the terminal. They're always going to other popular terminal spots, so hey, if you're looking to do the daily, you can always swing by here and knock that out. Of course, there is the chance of you getting a fusion core here at the camp, so that's pretty cool. You do have a few containers around, a ton of junk. Overall, cool spot. Now, it is a little bit wonky when you go to place your camp down. Because normally, like when I showed this originally, right where I was at in those bushes, that's where I had to put the camp down at. But, if you try to drop it out here, it won't let you. So, it does deter some people from trying to place a camp down because they pull the camp out and go, oh, it's red, I can't camp here, and then they move on. So not a very popular spot, but it's cool nonetheless. Now on to what is possibly my favorite out of all the cool camp locations. And that would be Murgle and the coffee shop. This spot is so freaking awesome. For the fact that you get the cool little coffee shop, and then you got Murgle. You can have a pet cat at your camp that, if it dies, oh well, eventually it will respawn. So, Murgle's a perfect pet, except for the fact that Murgle won't attack anything, and generally just kind of hangs out, doing cat stuff. It is kind of cool, though, to sit there and watch Murgle jump up on the table and do other random stuff. Location-wise, it's solid. As for the junk and stuff here, there's a fair assortment of junk around the area that it should be able to keep you somewhat happy. The only downsides are, like, the piles of debris. They suck. When I had a camp here, I had to figure a workaround on those massive junk areas, and it kinda sucked. But the location does have a lot going for it. And you are super close to a train station. Just a quick little walk down from your camp and you're at a train station. Really awesome location. That's all I can say. I love that spot. Moving on to a concrete bunker. This is another spot where I've only seen someone camp here a few times. And it surprises me because there's not that many concrete bunkers you can camp at. They're kind of in the same tier of rarity as caves. Except I feel like there's probably more caves than there are concrete bunkers like this one. I mean, it is a little cluttered on the inside, which kind of sucks, but you do get a few different containers, all sorts of good junk. Not only that, you got the top of this thing is nice and flat, giving you plenty of opportunities to mess around with it. Additionally, over there on the billboard, that is a location, so it will screw with your placement of the camp. Now, I've noticed if you try placing it towards this side, you'll be good, but if you try taking it towards the back side, it's going to give you trouble. As for its location, not the best, but at least it's trying to pull you higher up into the ash heap. Continuing on, and I feel like I want to cough, but I'm going to try not to. So we got this awesome little tent camp area. Now, the huge takeaway from this spot is it is an animal spawn. So you can have foxes, rabbits, rad chickens, squirrels, rad stag, all that kind of good stuff. So if you've got a daily that's wanting you to kill a specific animal, at least there's a chance that it could be here. In fact, in the past I've got quite a few of the dailies done by coming to this location. Overall, it's pretty dang cool to have a tent camp. As for the junk in the area, you've got a decent little assortment of stuff. I do hate the fake beds here in the camp. They freaking kill me. But I feel like the location has enough stuff going for it as it is to make it a solid little spot. And hey, look at that. You got some honey too. Because why not? Have some honey. As for its location, it's not in a horrible spot. And if you are just swinging by here for the daily, go down there and spawn in at Big Ben Tunnel. You can run straight over here, check it real quick, and go about your day. And now to the final location of the day. This spot. I know, somebody's like, really? This spot? You got the wood extractor pile, which is kind of cool. Now, the whole reason, really, that I picked this spot wasn't for the wood extractor. It was for the greenhouse at this area, because there's not an abundance of greenhouses that you can kidnap. And this greenhouse is pretty cool. Massive downside for this area is enemies spawn here. It's normally mongrels or wolves. Those are what I've normally seen here. But, like I said, you do get the greenhouse. It's a greenhouse. What else can I say about it? You got some free plants. And that's awesome. I really wish we could have those planters that the plants are in, so we could, set up our own legitimate greenhouses. Bethesda, I'm looking at you. I don't know why we can't have that. Why can't we have nice things like that? Well, not the dead animal. I've got plenty of those. But overall, pretty cool location. Fair amount of junk. The plants are really what makes this spot special. The little greenhouse. Super cool. And you can probably glitch your way into that house. I'm not saying you can, but you probably can if you know what you're doing. But that's going to wrap up this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be back next week with nothing but Savage Divide. As usual, please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.